Hello, friends. Fyodor Dostoevsky and Kafka are two of my favorite fiction writers. Both of these authors always deal with extremely morbid themes, but provide a good view into the nature of humans that are driven by vices or nihilism. The context and the thought process of the ill-fated protagonists are generally told through organic conversations and actions, and not an intrusive narrator that most modern books have. I will now write about two books of these authors. Dostoevsky's most famous book, Crime and Punishment. Crime and Punishment, written by Fyodor Dostoevsky in 1866, is a gripping psychological novel set in the gritty streets of St. Petersburg, Russia. The story follows Rodion Raskolnikov, a poor ex-student living in poverty. He's smart but tormented by his own ideas about morality and society. Raskolnikov believes that extraordinary people, like Napoleon, can break laws for a greater good without guilt. Driven by this twisted philosophy, plus his desperation for money, he decides to murder an old pawnbroker woman he sees as worthless and greedy. He thinks killing her and stealing her money will help him and others, proving he's above ordinary rules. The murder happens early in the book, but it's messy and chaotic. Raskolnikov kills the pawnbroker with an axe, but her kind sister walks in unexpectedly, so he murders her too. He grabs some valuables and flees, but he's haunted by paranoia and guilt right away. Instead of feeling empowered, he spirals into feverish illness and mental torment. The novel dives deep into his inner world through his thoughts, dreams, and conversations with people around him. We meet key characters who highlight different sides of human nature. There's Sonia, a young woman forced into prostitution to support her poor family. She's pure-hearted and religious, representing redemption and compassion. Raskolnikov confesses to her, and their talks show how love and faith can pull someone back from the edge. Then there's Porfiry Petrovich, a clever detective who suspects Raskolnikov and plays mind games with him, exposing the criminal's arrogance and fear. Raskolnikov's sister Dunya and his friend Razumikin and add layers of loyalty and reason, contrasting his isolation. Dostoevsky portrays human nature as complex and flawed. Raskolnikov's vice is pride. He thinks he's superior, but the crime reveals his deep insecurity and need for connection. The book explores nihilism, the idea that life has no meaning, but shows how it leads to suffering. Through Raskolnikov's actions and dialogues, we see how people rationalize evil deeds, yet conscience and society push back. Punishment isn't just legal, it's internal, like guilt eating away at the soul. In the end, after a trial and prison sentence in Siberia, Raskolnikov finds hope through Sonia's influence, suggesting humans can change and find meaning beyond vices. This novel isn't just a thriller, it's a mirror to our darker impulses, showing that true strength comes from humility, not power. Comparing this to shorter Kafka novels almost feels unfair, as nihilism is ironically the point in most of these books. Now, a detailed summary of The Hunger Artist as the most haunting book I have ever read. The Hunger Artist is a short story by Franz Kafka, published in 1922. It's eerie and thought-provoking, told in a simple, straightforward way that makes its sadness hit harder. The main character is a professional hunger artist, a man who performs by starving himself in a cage for days on end as entertainment for crowds. In his heyday, this is a popular spectacle. People come to watch him waste away, guarded by butchers to ensure he doesn't cheat by eating. He fasts for up to 40 days, pushed by his manager for maximum profit, though the artist himself wants to go longer to prove his art. Kafka shows the hunger artist's deep loneliness and obsession through his actions and sparse talks. He's driven by a need to be understood, but no one gets it. The crowds cheer at first, but they lose interest over time, suspecting tricks or just getting bored. The artist feels misunderstood. Starving isn't a stunt for him, it's his pure expression, a search for something beyond food, maybe meaning in suffering. Yet, society treats it as a freak show. As times change, hunger artistry falls out of fashion. Circuses and animal acts take over. The artist joins a circus, placed in a cage near the animals, but visitors ignore him to see the beasts. He fasts longer than ever, unnoticed, until he's near death. In a final confession to the overseer, he whispers that he starved because he never found food he liked, implying his hunger was for something deeper, like purpose or recognition that the world couldn't provide. The story ends hauntingly. They bury him and replace his cage with a lively panther, which draws crowds with its vitality. Kafka portrays human nature as absurd and isolated. The hunger artist embodies nihilism. Life feels empty, efforts futile. Through his quiet suffering and the indifferent world, we see how people crave validation but often get overlooked. Vices like pride or perfectionism drive him but lead to self-destruction. It's not preachy. The organic unfolding makes you feel the tragedy. This tale lingers because it questions if our pursuits matter in an uncaring society. This may feel like the French way of fetishizing tragedy, but I think of it as a deep dive into ill-fated individuals, where the journey portrayed is just as engaging as the destination. Both books strip away illusions, showing humans as fragile, vice-ridden beings searching for meaning amid chaos. Dostoevsky offers a sliver of hope through redemption, while Kafka leaves you in chilling emptiness. They remind us that understanding our dark sides can make us more empathetic. Hope you liked the video. Tell me about what you like in the comments. What morbid tales have shaped your view of human nature? Share below.